What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Deep Rhythm, and we back with another video. And today we got a special video for y'all. Today we're going to be going over the topic of organization plus point of focus. All right. So now, when we talk about organization and point of focus, right? We got to understand something. So the central nervous system, as we said in the past video on point of focus, is what captures patterns of functioning, and then that the peripheral nervous system sends to the central nervous system, and then it reiterates or deciphers solutions, and then sends that back to the peripheral nervous system through the form of the peripheral nervous system, and then the peripheral nervous system carries that out, right? And this is how the central nervous system basically controls function. And the important thing to understand about this is if you focus intently on what you're doing, this process will happen, and you will be able to create closed loop commands. Closed loop commands, psychological closed loop commands, being commands that you can then pass over to your to external focuses, or open loop commands, and then be able to enact on activities, right? Activities being, well, we'll break it down later. So that's the important thing to understand in terms of, this process. And this process goes very deep, and we'll break all this down, right? So when we talk about closed loop commands, now the synapses is what calculates your decision making in terms of, or the process of you committing an action, right? And it deciphers whether what the correct form of the movement you're doing looks like, right? So whatever the movement you're doing, the synapses will decipher what the correct form looks like, and then it will send it to the peripheral nervous system, and work and coordinate with the peripheral nervous system in order to get the movement right over through time and attention, right? So now I break down this process because we want to talk about being able to take your ideas and take your and take your imagination, right, and your creativity, and being able to bring that stuff forth, right? So now when we talk about organization, right, so organization is the most primary key important thing that most of us creatives have, in terms of bringing out our ideas, right? So what I really want to talk about now, is how, people with the persona of just being very dedicated to their craft, or being very, locked into the craft, and really just blocking out everything else. Nothing is as significant or as important as the craft itself, right? Nothing goes, comes before the craft, right? You know what I'm saying? This comes before everything else, right? Your disciplines, like, friends, family, like all this stuff is not to say it's not important, but the craft comes first. And your disciplines is what comes first, right? People who are very disciplined, like that, and have that and carry that type of persona, have a tendency of not even really understanding their own, benefits, or their own, ways of capitalizing off their own treasures and gems that they've already created but don't even realize. You know what I'm saying? So, and the important thing to understand is, like, these people right here. The important thing to understand, like, if you're one of these type of people, man, like, you probably have, like, who are just very disciplined and put discipline before everything else. You probably have a lot of characteristics about yourself and a lot of gems about yourself that you can really capitalize off of, and turn it into something much bigger, right? If you're just willing to take the time to just be open-minded to it, right? But the important thing to understand about this, right, and if you combine this type of person with someone who's, very imaginative and dedicated to craft, right? So now the important thing to understand is, like, for someone who's very crafty like that, you might have a lot of treasures and gems in the toolbox that you might, have scattered around, right? And it looks like just a pile. It looks like a big pile of wasteland that just has a bunch of gems in it, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like a fountain, or like a wasteland of gems and treasures, right? but it's a wasteland. It's like a dump. You know what I'm saying? So and it's like in order to really craft that out, you have to be able to take from that, from that waste bucket and wasteland, and be able to like organize, your stuff, what I'm saying, your stuff, and be able to take what you can and put things together to actually craft something out. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video, is being able to just take stuff like this and being able to craft this stuff out. So the next thing we want to talk about is your ability to take um prioritize, right? What you prioritize is what we want to talk about, right? This is the most important thing for a person who has that persona of just being disciplined to their craft and putting their discipline before everything. You know what I'm saying? Someone who puts their discipline before, friends, before family, before any of that type of stuff. Not to say that stuff is not important, but to say that, this stuff is more important, right? Somebody with that type of characteristic, what I'm saying, the most important thing for you to be able to do, not to take you away out of your disciplines that you do every day religiously, but to say to prioritize, right? You know what I'm saying? Prioritizing is the most important thing for this type of persona. You know what I'm saying? Prioritize, prioritize your systems. You know what I'm saying? Prioritize taking the things that you've already created, and organizing those things into something, distinguishable, right? So that way you can consciously understand, your surroundings, and really name and take control of, your spaces, right? And what's around your spaces, right? And this is important because now this allows you to be better able to not only prioritize, it's now you're now more suited to be able to take what you need within certain situations and scenarios and be able to apply those things and utilize them in order to create something much bigger, right? You know what I'm saying? From whatever space or environment that you're confronted with or that you're put in. So that's the important thing to understand about that, and being able to utilize this aspect um of organization is very key and very crucial in order to like develop yourself and to continue growing, right? So the next important thing I want to say is coming back to what we already talked about in terms of, point of focus, right? The central nervous system and all that. Like, the important thing to understand, like, with all this information, like, and the importance of all this information is that, you can create different ways of functioning and different ways of, utilizing different ways of development through by utilizing external force focuses, right? By utilizing this formula that I just laid out, that I continue to lay it out, in point of focus from, the central nervous system, developing skills, developing functionalities, creating closed loop commands, utilizing these closed loop commands inside of open loop commands being external focuses, right? External focuses being like you have a point of focus, right? You know what I'm saying? So an open loop command is a command that gives you an external focus. You know what I'm saying? So now as I have this external focus, I line myself up with that external focus, right? I line my body up with that external focus, and I commit myself to meet the requirements and the standards, and you know what I'm saying, and I take the form and shape of that external focus that I have, right? And that's what it is to have visuals, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens when you have an external focus, or you have visuals, right? You begin to line your body up with that external focus, right? Your body begins to line itself up and take the shape of it, right? So the important thing to understand as well about external focuses is you can control your external focuses, right? And if you control your external focuses, now you can be able to craft out specifically what it is you want to do, and then also be able to take from your open loop commands and close or your closed loop systems, and be able to interpret those closed loop systems into the functionalities of those external focuses that you have, right? And that's the important thing to understand. And in the aspect of business or whatever you might be doing, that's the important thing to understand about having like external cues and focuses, and being able to prioritize your being able to prioritize your spaces and your environments is, you know what I'm saying, the most crucial important thing, especially for people with that persona of just straight discipline, right? You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you may come to a point to where your disciplines, like, you man, you know what I'm saying, like your disciplines, they may become stagnant, or they may be confronted with problems that you have to face, right? You may have to switch environments, right? You may get switched into a new environment. Something may happen, you know what I'm saying, that now your systems have to make an adjustment, you know what I'm saying, so to whatever confronts you. And now, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have to be able to really, you know what I'm saying, get innovative and get creative in terms of making that discipline or functionality still carry on, right? Because now we can really talk about, you know what I'm saying, how we can get so bottled down into our own disciplines and systems, right, religiously, that we really lose sight of the fact or the reality of the fact that we might not always be in this environment. You know what I'm saying? In an environment where or something might change, right? We might not have all the resources that we used to have in order to, like, you know what I'm saying, keep doing, or keep, you know, the functionalities of our systems or whatever disciplines we might have, right? You know what I'm saying? Things change up, right? You know what I'm saying? And when the ball hits you and when you get confronted with it, like, what you gonna do, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like we got to be able to come out of that little bubble or that shell of the fact that, okay, so, you know what I'm saying, I just got to stay disciplined in my systems. If I do this every day, I'm good. Like, nah, like, it's important, yeah, to stay disciplined, but, you know, we got to be able to come back to reality, understand, like, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And if something do happen, then how you going to continue doing those systems, right? So what you going to do, right? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no choice really but to become conscious and really prioritize, you know what I'm saying, your surroundings and how you can get better, right? That's the only way out of this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the important thing. Cause at the end of the day, like, you're not gonna be able to just continue doing the same thing over and over again, as you know, things constantly change, right? You have no choice but to actually be able to innovate, and it starts with being able to prioritize and understand your surroundings, and it starts by being able to name and categorize things and put things in place of your, you know, say in your surroundings and in your spaces, and being able to really take your surroundings and being able to creatively and imaginatively structure them and fit and have them fit whatever way that you want them to fit, or to fit you in any way that you need them to fit you. You know what I'm saying? And just leave it at that, right? You know what I'm saying? And prioritize these spaces. Categorize everything. Look at everything and give it a name. Give everything a symbol, a category. Give it everything, you know what I'm saying, a placement, right? You know what I'm saying? That way you can understand it. Like, because, you know, at the end of the day, that, you know what I'm saying, that's the important thing. That's the important thing to do. Like, you never know, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's best to categorize everything and look at everything, classify it, categorize it. That way, when you come to a point to when the ball hits you and you confront it with whatever problems that you get confronted with, whatever it may be, you have a way of functioning and being able to actually utilize, you know what I'm saying, some of these mental systems or psychological or physical systems that you put in place, and be able to, like, enact on whatever you need to enact on. You know what I'm saying? So that's the moral story of this video right here. We just breaking down the importance of, you know what I'm saying, being able to really take from that space, you know what I'm saying, being able to really capitalize off of, you know what I'm saying, anything that confronts you. You know what I'm saying, in a sense of anything at the end of the day could happen, you know what I'm saying? But we just got to be conscious and understand it, and really take the time to really sit down and really process information. You know what I'm saying, in terms of what things are going to categorize as, and how things fall in line with me in the way that I process information and how I function my disciplines. You know what I'm saying? So that's the most important thing to understand. And you know, if that can be a priority, then, you know what I'm saying, then that can be, you know, the most important thing. But anyway, yeah, y'all. I'm about to conclude. I'm about to wrap this joint up in a second. I think we touched bases on most of the things we wanted to, you know what I'm saying, go down and lay down, or, you know what I'm saying, the things or everything we wanted to really talk about. But like I said, the most important thing is being able to, you know what I'm saying, like I said, you know what I'm saying, we're taking from the space of are disciplined folk, right? With that disciplined persona, that discipline comes before everything else. Craft comes before anything else. And we spend so much time digging deep within ourselves and pulling more from these spaces of just, you know what I'm saying, our own blood, sweat, and tears, and not getting no type of bread or no type of, you know what I'm saying, recognition for it, and or no type of you know, no type of you know, reciprocation for the hard work or the blood, you know what I'm saying, that we in sweat and tears that we put into, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is that we do. So it's a matter of really just being able to take whatever we do and putting that stuff together, like take from that wasteland, right, of straight gems and treasures and and gold mines and crafts and stuff, and be able to put things together and put things in order in a way that we can just, that you can, you know what I'm saying, might be able to actually structure something that can help somebody. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And that's the important thing to understand. And that's the important thing, you know what I'm saying, to really get down to try to, you know what I'm saying, be able to do is just, you know, trying to, you know what I'm saying, just structure things, man. Structure things. And, you know what I'm saying, structure things that could help people, you know? Well, whatever it may be. Like, you may have things, you know what I'm saying, in the toolbox that you just have, and they fit a specific way, right? You know what I'm saying? They fit into a specific lane that you can take the time to just craft out and create, you know what I'm saying, and say, hey, look, here it go, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, that's the important thing, right? It's really just making the most and taking something out of these crafts and something out of these gems, you know what I'm saying, and fountains that you had, that you put blood, sweat, and tears on, and like not necessarily, not, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily just always, you know what I'm saying, keeping going back into that space of just, you know, getting more, nah, like, you know what I'm saying, just, you know, like take what you already have, and, you know what I'm saying, be able to really organize that. Like, take what you already have and put some shit together so that you can be able to, you know, structure something that you can take, and you know what I'm saying, that you can actually structure something with, because you probably got stuff already, everything you need already in order to craft something out, and keep going with. You just need to actually just look at this stuff, you know what I'm saying, and organize this shit and put it together, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, put those puzzle pieces together, and just, you know what I'm saying, and just, you know what I'm saying, here, like, you know what I'm saying, just you know what I'm saying, present that. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's really it. You feel me? And that's, you know what I'm saying, what I really wanted to talk about in this video, man. Like, just prioritize, man. Prioritize, man. Name, categorize. Give your stuff different names, different meanings, different everything. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you craft, give it a bunch of different, and organize it. You know what I'm saying? And organize it. Say, this is this, this is this. I name this one Bill. I name this one or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Make sticky notes, and just cause all that shit, man, from all those spaces that you've been into, and all, like, man, you should be having a fountain. Like, you know what I'm saying? You might you have a fountain of gems and just stuff that you can already capitalize off, man. Going around searching for what you want, but you got everything you need right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You've already put in the hard work to make it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you just gotta be able to, you know what I'm saying, just put it together. Or organize it and put it together. Just look at this shit and put it together. Like, organize it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I really wanted to talk about in this video. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just categorizing, you know what I'm saying? Just about categorizing and prioritizing and naming things and calling things out, and just doing that with everything. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that will really be beneficial to, you know what I'm saying, whomever needs to hear it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, you know what I'm saying? Just benefiting off that, you know what I'm saying? And just keeping it moving, you know? So that's gonna conclude this video. That's what I really wanted to talk about in this video, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one really dedicated to this topic, and, you know what I'm saying, this genre of people, you know, or this you know, demographic of people right here, just the disciplined folk, man, that just, you know what I'm saying, just keep going and keep going with their disciplines. This is what it is. This is what it's all about, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I challenge you to, yeah, it's important to be disciplined, But it's also important to, you know what I'm saying, understand that you just, you know, it's also important to, man, just, you know what I'm saying, create the shit, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what's also important too, is just being able to put the shit together, you know, and just create what you need to create. You know what I'm saying? Or create whatever you can create, whatever you can craft out of it. You know what I'm saying? What you have, right? Out of that gold mine. You know what I'm saying? That you went through. So, yeah, that's gonna that's gonna conclude this video right here. For the most part, I'll see y'all in the next one. Yeah, y'all. This is a quick little video. Like I said, we just putting together on categorizing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like categorizing, man. Like really, you really going through all those spaces that you've been through. You know what I'm saying? Spaces that you probably don't even want to, you know what I'm saying? Probably don't even, ain't even on the forefront of your mind. Like going through all these spaces, like spaces you may not even want to remember, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But going through all these spaces, right? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you have trouble remembering. You know what I'm saying? And just going through these spaces for real and really looking at this shit and saying, like, you know what I'm saying? I forgot all about this. I forgot all about that. You know what I'm saying? This shit is me. You know what I'm saying? All those spaces, man, like them spaces, man, like I forgot all about this shit. This is me right here. This is me. I remember this. You know what I'm saying? And just pulling from these spaces right here and then just, you know what I'm saying, being able to craft that joint out. You know what I'm saying? Craft that whatever you need to craft out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like so many spaces that you probably have, and that you just don't even remember, that you can really just go back to and just really understand, like, you know what I'm saying, I got everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything I need. Like, come on, man. Like, really, like, imagine all the spaces that you probably been through. You know what I'm saying? And you looking for the answer to things that you already got. You know what I'm saying? From within those spaces. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all from within them spaces. I mean, like, from since you was 12, since you was a child, maybe since you was, you know what I'm saying, even younger, maybe since you was in your teenage years, or maybe since, you know what I'm saying, even last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, spaces, like all of these spaces, like the solutions you have from all of these spaces, really just being able to go down and understand what worked, what didn't work. And man, there's probably so much that you could really take from your past self, and so many disciplines you have from your past self, and be able to, you know what I'm saying, reapply it in some way in today. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. You might be able to apply, you know, some of them things to today. So that's the other important thing to really look at too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, just the amount of disciplines that you might have. You know what I'm saying, that you could really utilize. You know what I'm saying, right now or in today. You know what I'm saying? So in today's society. So that's what I wanted to talk about, yo. Like, that's the nature of this video. I think I'm about ready to conclude this video right now. Yeah, yo. Just tapping into them old spaces, yo. You know what I'm saying? Tapping into them old spaces, like, you know what I'm saying, some of the psychology you probably used to have in the past, like the way you thought about things, you know what I'm saying? Like, even some of the things that you did, like, you can't sleep on some of the things you do, because sometimes you can do things, right? And you don't understand the effect that it's really having. Or, better put, you can do things, and the things that you do feel so insignificant that you don't understand the effects that it's actually happening, right? I'm talking about the insignificant shit, right? The insignificant things that you do that don't equate to nothing, really don't feel like you're doing anything, but you're doing a lot, and you're doing everything, right? So, and you're doing just about everything, right? And it doesn't feel like you're doing anything. So, I really want to touch bases on this point right here, right? Because this is, you know what I'm saying? And these things can feel like nothing, like literal nothing, but it does so much to your mood, your behavior, and your day. Like, and it just felt like nothing, you know? So, you know, really going back and really assessing these things right here too, and just being like, you know, what are some things that I used to do, I mean, that felt like I didn't do anything, but it was everything. Just, it was everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that little subtle change is what changed. You know what I'm saying? The drastic. You know what I'm saying? You know, of my day. Like it just changed, just like the drastic feeling of my day. Like you know what I'm saying? How my day carried out. It was just that subtle thing. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't even, and it just didn't feel like I'm doing anything, right? You know what I'm saying? So really going back in and tapping into those things, man, like too, it's just what are some things, man, that you just, some subtle discipline that you have. It just doesn't feel like anything, but it's just, you know what I'm saying? It just has that much of an effect, you know? And that's the other thing I wanted to really talk about, right? It's just those subtle things, those subtle things, you know. But yeah, that's the other important thing. Like life ain't always about the big things. It's, you know. But anyway, yeah, like you know, yeah, subtle things like that, and just being able to consciously understand sometimes too, like that's really good, right? But maybe it might even be um even people you listen to, you know, subtly, like that can have subtly, like not even just what you do, what you listen to sometimes, and it just subtly can have just seem like nothing, but have a drastic effect. But um yeah, that's the other important thing. That's another important thing as well, right? So without further ado, yeah. I think these are some good points we touched on. Um, in terms of this in this video right here. You know, yeah, I think this is very important too. Like, and it's just being able to reinforce yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? Not everything you see and not every problem that you have is necessarily, the end of the world or the greatest, feat ever. Like sometimes, and most importantly is, what I'm saying, to be able to reinforce yourself. You know what I'm saying? And reinforce these things, right? Reinforce these things, right? You know what I'm saying? And let this be, how you confront what you see. You know what I'm saying? Just reinforce, but you know what I'm saying? Like reinforce these things, and it's just, carve out your space. Your space should be what you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, go through, categorize things, name things, and be able to put things together, that way, right? You just from you know what I'm saying, you just being more intuitive about, what I'm saying, like, okay, this is what I do. Let me go ahead and you know let me go ahead and okay, so this is this, simple stuff like that, right? So um that's probably the last point I got to hit in terms of this video right here. I think this is a really good video. I hope y'all was able to take a lot from this video right here and are going to be able to start, categorizing and putting things together from, just being able to, utilize, this information and being able to really just come out with something, right? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have a lot of great things. A lot of people are very noticeable, but they not, what I'm saying, they might, what I'm saying, you might have something or might have things that are much more um authentic and much more, you know, valuable, what I'm saying, internally than what they have, you know. You might have something that is much deeper than, what I'm saying, what the people that you see on the surface, you know. So, it's just a matter of just looking at that and saying, hey, maybe what would it look like, like to just me to go down and really take this stuff and really thoroughly just go ahead and put this stuff together, right? So you may surprise people, right? You may surprise yourself, right? So that's gonna conclude this video right here. I think this is a pretty good video. Love y'all, man. Shoot. We gonna have some more joints coming. You know what I'm saying? Go check out Deep Art, Critical Thought, Deep Rhythm. I don't know where this video is going yet, but go ahead, check out the channels. We got more information coming. And you know what I'm saying? We steady dropping. So peace, love, and we out this joint, baby. Let's get it.